in March. And
That
that's
is,
kind of a cool connection.
yeah, that's a really interesting transition there. I had no anticipation that there would be another church in that space. And so it's neat to see, all the work that we put into that space being used again for God's kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were in there today. Owners are graciously letting us move stuff in. So we're kind of preoccupying, even though we don't technically start the lease until March 1. But every time I'm in there, I see nice little touches, just the cabinetry and the rooms even. And you must be like a carpenter like Jesus.
Yeah, I spent my years right after high school doing construction and carpentry remodel work.
Mhm.
And I did that just long enough to know that that's not what I want to do with my life to earn money. So I grew up in Montrose, which is about 60 miles south of Grand Junction.
Wasn't Montrose a character in Rob Roy? I only say that because you look sort of Scottish with your beard and your plaid quilt-like shirt.
Yeah, I primarily wear plaid so that if I'm not wearing plaid, I can get away with something.
I'll have to think about that for a minute.
I grew up with a single mom, and we were really involved in church. We were really involved in the youth group. I learned play the guitar and started leading worship in the youth group when I was in high school. Really felt led to ministry. Didn't really know what that was going to look like or what area of ministry that would be. And right after I graduated high school, I decided it was, a good idea to get married. So I've been married now for 20 years.
That's cool. And you're 40-ish?
Yeah, I just turned 40.
Okay, pretty much a good kid, or did you go through your God is boring, I'm gonna go crazy for a while stage that a lot of us do?
I didn't really do that. I think any kind of experience I had with that was after being in ministry for a little while. I felt called to start a church in Boulder County, and I just noticed that there's a lot of there. On the one hand, there's a group of people who were really interested in planting in Boulder County and being a part of ministry in Boulder County because they were for sure going to win Boulder for Jesus,
right,
and turn their liberal politics around. They didn't understand Boulder. For them, it was like a hill to conquer.
Yeah.
We use weird language in church planting. I don't know if the Vineyard does this, but we talk about planting churches, but what do you call the first Sunday? Launch Sunday.
Yeah, which is more like a rocket or something.
Yeah, and I always wondered what are we planting?
Yeah,
we're planting something that launches.
Right.
My oldest daughter went through some pretty difficult stuff and was asking really hard questions that I didn't know the answers to. And so that really, it's not that I didn't know answers. It's that the answers that I thought I knew weren't very good. How can you believe in a loving God when there's so much suffering in the world?
That is like the question.
That is like the question. I don't know if you're familiar with the artist John Mark McMillan. On his most recent album, he has a song called "The Road, the Rocks, and the Weeds," and he just has this song that talks about this daughter that he has that asks all of these hard questions, and really, I think for him and for me, that really sent me on a journey of discovery about my own faith, about what it means to follow Jesus, what is loving the Bible mean in this context.
It almost sounds like a form of deconstructionism, but in a positive way.
I didn't do it on TikTok though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was maybe a more honest search, and you strike me as a very stable person. And so you didn't quit ministry and deconstruct and then appear back again necessarily. It sounds like you persevered through.
No,
while
I brought
wrestling with-
I brought my congregation on the journey. I grew up listening to Sunday night services talking about the end times, and somebody would always trot out the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation and different parts of Ezekiel and put it on a chart. And it wasn't until a lot later that I realized that the word apocalypse doesn't refer to a time in the future. It is actually a genre of literature. It has everything to do with a group of people who are being that are in captivity or are being oppressed. And so apocalyptic literature is a way for a group of people who are under the thumb of an oppressive regime to be able to talk openly and criticize openly the kingdom that is enslaving them. And so they would use imagery that would be really evident to the oppressed people, but not evident to the people who were the oppressors. So not most books in the Bible are not just one genre. So the beginning of the book of Daniel is very narrative driven. It tells the story of what's going on. It tells the story of Daniel and his friends. But all of that is setting up the context, and it creates, for the original readers, it creates a place for them to put this story, put this narrative, put this this discourse.